Oh, by the way, I guess I should have said who was here today instead of me.
Tuesday, May 26th. I'll ask everyone to stand and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ms. Hawks, please call the roll.
Ms. Barner? Ms. Brandillo?
Here.
Mr. Patrick?
Here.
Mr. Horvath?
Here.
Mr.
Present.
Kova? Mr. Cudley?
Here.
Mr. McDougal?
Present.
Mr. Vaca? Mr. Wolf?
Here.
All right, is there anything that anyone would like to reconsider of a prior action? Seeing none, we'll move on to the minutes of May 11th, 2015. I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a move and second to approve. Any questions, additions, comments? Mr. Kovach? Okay. Ms. Hawks, please call the roll.
Mr. Cudley?
Yes.
Ms. Brandillo?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Mr. Hafford?
Yes.
Mr. Kovach?
Abstain.
Ms. McDougal?
Yes.
Mr. Vaca?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
All right, those minutes are approved. There is no public hearing. We will go into executive session. Is there a motion to go into executive
Mr.
session?
Horvath,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to move that pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22G1, that the Aurora City Council convene into executive session to discuss a disciplinary action of a public employee in Aurora Police Department.
Okay, there is a move and second. Ms. Hawks, are there any questions by anyone? Ms. Hawks, please call the roll.
Mr. Cudley?
Yes.
Mr. Vaca? Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Ms. Brandillo?
Yes.
Mr. Hafford?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Mr. Kovach?
Yes.
Ms. McDougal? Yes.
Okay, we'll go into the mayor's office, okay? And I'm assured this will not take long. There's a soccer game tonight.
Second.
We have a move and second to come back. Ms. Hawks, please call the roll.
Mr. Cudley?
Yes.
Ms. Brandillo?
Yes.
Mr. Hafford?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Mr. Kovach?
Yes.
Ms. McDougal?
Yes.
Mr. Vaca?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Mayor's report?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Good evening, Council. Metro Health Medical Center held the annual Excellence in Emergency Medical Services Awards last week and honored Chief Dave Barnes, Assistant Chief John Schmader, Captain Brad Davis, and firefighter paramedics Ed Grekel, David Hedinger, and Perry Nuccio for the care given by City Service Department to City Service Department employee Alan Zielinski in January 2015. This was a tremendously moving event, and Al Zielinski was there and stood up at the microphone with the award winners, and the scenario was described by the doctor who took him in the emergency room or the trauma center when he was brought there, and he said that our crew's actions were brilliant. That was his word. Congratulations to all the sponsors and volunteers who participated in the food drive supporting the Aurora Food Pantry. It was just a great, great event. So far, more than 12,500 pounds of food and over $4,000 in donations have been collected. We also would like to commend the Boy Scouts for their efforts in collecting an additional 2,583 pounds of food. And I just want to thank the very generous residents of Aurora. We are making progress on the plans to move the Deed House to Pioneer Triangle and should begin laying the foundation in early June. Contractors have been identified for each piece of the project to this point, and the move of the foundation and the electric are each under $10,000, and the money is in the budget. I want to thank many people for a wonderful Memorial Day event yesterday. Parks Director Bill Fellenstein and his parks crew worked so hard to plant flowers, protect them from the frost, and then clean the parks for the programs. Thank you also to John True and the Service Department for their work on the streets and cemetery, and to Denise Januska and her planning, zoning, and building staff who did their part to spruce up the neighborhood. Thank you to the safety forces under Chiefs Barnes and Byard, and to the Aurora High School Band for their participation. Lastly, thank you to our VFW and American Legion for creating a beautiful tribute to our veterans yesterday. Since our last meeting, I've met with residents, I've met with a representative of the Attorney General's office, I presented a proclamation to Aurora Manor recognizing National Nursing Home Week, attended a Portage County Safety Council meeting, and I was a speaker along with State Representative Sarah LaTourette at Harmon's Mock Congress last week, and it was wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Any questions? Mr. Cudley?
Thank you, Mr. Horvat. Mayor, I want to thank you for being an important part of the Historical Society's meeting last Thursday, which featured the Deed House project. You were well received. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, Law Director's report.
Mr. President, members of the council, I have two items I'd like to point out for your attention. The first is regarding Ordinance 21577, the Dominion East Ohio gas easement. I know there were questions at the last meeting. I tried to provide some additional information that we received from the company via an email and some photos with regard to some of the safety measures that are being taken. I'd be happy to answer any questions on that. The second one, just want to make you aware of a police longevity grievance with the OPBA. Arbitration is scheduled for June 5th, 2015. You were advised about that a couple of meetings ago at an executive session.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the Law Director at this point? All right, seeing none, you have a copy of my report in front of you. Council is asked to support a motion to add ordinances 2015-080 through 2015-083 that were discussed at tonight's Committee of the Whole meeting, and I would like to add those to tonight's agenda.
Move to amend the agenda.
We have a move and second to add those to the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Also included in your packet is a proposed amendment for ordinance 2015-067, prepared by the Law Department. I will ask for a motion to amend the ordinance by replacing it with revised legislation under the legislative portion of the agenda. All right, just a couple points I'd like to bring up. Mr. Kovach, also Mr. Hatridge, thank you guys for all your service and being there yesterday.
Thank you.
You guys were very well represented, and I really enjoyed the tribute. Thank you very much. And Mayor, thank you. All right, citizens' comments. Anyone wishing to comment on anything on tonight's agenda, please come forward. Mr. Mazzaro.
Mr. Horvat, members of the council, my name is George Mazzaro, 186 Eldridge. I want to let you know if you see me leave at 8:15 tonight, in case you have a long meeting.
What's the score of the soccer game?
Don't worry, most of the council will be behind you.
I always get back to the council meetings, you know. I only have a couple of items here. On 065, I asked a question, and I know you responded, the law director responded. Are there any additional cost? I have not heard anybody talk about that. Is there any additional cost? And is there anything additional that citizens have to do to be involved with this? On the 079, and that is the National Gas endorsement. I read it, but I did not see what rate they are going to charge. What is the rate they're going to charge if I decide to call them tomorrow? Okay. Does anybody tell me what this rate is?
We'll get there, Mr. Paul.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Sorry.
I want to make sure of that. Okay, and then on the hiring of the firm, we just hired, let me see what I got here.
Tell you about 82.
Okay, yeah, it seems that you're hiring a firm now to review your plans, okay? And the fact is, what happened to Angela Kavanaugh? She used to be the one that did all this. Then you hired somebody back in 2013, and they resigned in 2015 or something like that. And the point I'm saying is, why was there so much confusion going on at that stage and what the cost is? Angela Cavanaugh's been with you for a long, long time, always did the job the way it should be done, and I just want to know if she's still there. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor, do you want to talk about Constellation? I have the answer, but please go ahead.
Sure, thank you, Mr. President. This contract sets a formula. It does not set the rate, but of the gas program. However, representative rates were presented to you by Mr. Burns when he was here earlier this evening. We won't know the rate until they actually go out for bid, and they can't do that till they have this contract extension, which sets what he believes and what we who met with him believe to be a good formula for then providing the rate for us.
So
Thank
it
you.
will be said at a later time.
Yes, correct. Thank you.
Mr. DePiero, do you want to comment on 65 before we get there on the cost?
I do, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President. Very briefly, with regard to 65, there are no additional costs. This is a rewrite of a very old contract. I will say, with regard to the citizen input, the contract actually bolsters that in several areas. The mayor wanted to make sure that there was increased accountability. So there's a section requiring quarterly reports to the community, as well as Section 4, which talks about upon request that representatives of the board would be available to meet with appropriate representatives of the city regarding public health provided to the city residents. So we've made it loud and clear to them that I think they do a good job, but we'd like them to be more visible and more accessible to the elected officials to respond to citizens' needs.
Thank you, Mr. DePiero. All right, anyone on council who would like to comment on anything on tonight's agenda? All right, seeing none, then we'll get into tonight's agenda. Ordinance, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Cudley.
Yeah, thank you. I pushed kind of late there. I just want to speak about the health district contract. Just that I hope there's more accountability, and I hope there's more services that are coming from Portage County. They've been kind of lax in some areas, especially in the sanitary sewer septic inspections, and we really need to have a lot of more work. I had personal experiences with them over the last year, and it cost me money, and they just didn't perform the kind of service that we should expect as taxpayers who are supporting this.
Thank you. Ms. McDougall?
Yes, thank you, President. I just would like to comment on, with the new hire, that's new to the division?
The new hire?
Police general? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 215,080. After a lot of consideration, after a lot of consideration, I think I will support the decision. I am concerned that we're suspending the rules on voting on this. This is a very expensive decision for our city.
Ms. McDougall, this is two different, this is two different issues. This is a part-time dispatcher.
So we're not,
No.
it's not coming on tonight's agenda?
No.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm very sorry.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll go on to tonight's agenda. Ordinance 2015-032 is on third reading. It was postponed on May 11th. As from the Committee of the Whole, it's an ordinance accepting for dedication Shannon Place, which is part of Hawthorne Subdivision Phase 5C, for recording as a public street in the city of Aurora. And this will stay tabled or stay, motion to postpone. We have a move and second to postpone. Ms. Hawks, please call the roll.
Mr. Vaca? Yes. Ms. Grandel?
Yes.
Mr. Hatridge?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Mr. Kovak?
Yes.
Mr. Cudley?
Yes.
Ms. McDougall?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
And just as a follow-up, the lights are not in, correct? Thank you. Ordinance 2015-065 is from the Committee of the Whole, is on third reading. It's an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into the 2015 amendment to the agreement with Portage County Combined General Health District, substantially in the form attached hereto, and declaring an emergency to properly provide continued health services to local residents, and this is on third reading.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We have a move and second to adopt. Ms. Hawks, please call the roll.
Mr. Hattrick?
Yes.
Ms. Randall?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Mr. Kovak?
Yes.
Mr. Cudley?
Yes.
Ms. McDougal?
Yes.
Mr. Vaca?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-065 is adopted. Ordinance 2015-067 is from the Committee of the Whole and is on third reading. It's an ordinance accepting the proposal and renewing the current program with HCC, U.S. Specialty Insurance Company, for the purpose of providing the city's property and casualty insurance for the policy period June 1, 2015 to June 1, 2016 through Edward Sutton Insurance Agency, the premium for which shall be in the amount of $124,481, taking the necessary funds from the General Fund Number 1, Water Fund Number 70, and Sewer Fund Number 72, and declaring an emergency as the current policy expires May 31st, 2015.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Wait, yes, thank you. We have a move and second to amend.
I'll second.
We have a move and second to amend. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion is carried.
Move for adoption.
All right, we have a move and second to adopt as amended. Ms. Hawks, please call the roll.
Mr. Cudley?
Yes.
Mr. Hattrick?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Mr. Kovak?
Yes.
Ms. McDougal?
Yes.
Mr. Vaca?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Ms. Randall?
Yes.
Hey, ordinance 2015-067 is adopted. Ordinance 2015-069 is from the Committee of the Whole and is on third reading. It's an ordinance accepting the proposal of Illinois National Insurance Company for the purpose of providing the city's cyber edge security and privacy liability insurance for the policy period ending beginning June 1, 2015 to June 1, 2016 through Edward Sutton Insurance Agency, the premium for which shall be in the amount of $5,403, appropriating necessary funds from the General Fund Number 1 and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We have a move and second to adopt. Ms. Hawks, please call the roll.
Ms. McDougal?
Yes.
Mr. Hattrick?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Mr. Kovak?
Yes.
Mr. Cudley?
Yes.
Mr. Vaca?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Ms. Randall?
Yes.
Mr. Suttons, congratulations. Thank you very much for all your diligent work. Ordinance 2015-069 is adopted. Ordinance 2015-070 is from the Committee of the Whole and is on second reading. It's an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a community reinvestment area, CRA agreement with JIT Packaging of Aurora Incorporated for a 100% 15-year tax abatement of real property taxes in accordance with the provisions of the city's community reinvestment area known as CRA1, adopted by ordinance 1994-52, amended by ordinance 1999-36, and ordinance 2005-105, and declaring emergency in order to facilitate construction as early as possible. And this will go on the third reading.
Move to adopt. Oh, I'm sorry.
Ordinance 2015-071 is from the Committee of the Whole. It's an ordinance accepting the proposal of Stantec in the amount not to exceed $51,775 for an evaluation of the city's wastewater treatment plants to identify, prioritize, and develop solutions to meet community needs in a financially affordable manner, taking $40,000 from the Sewer Fund Number 73 with an additional appropriation of $11,775 from the Sewer Capital Fund Number 73 and declaring emergency, and this will go on third reading. Ordinance 2015-077 is from the Committee of the Whole and is on second reading. It's an ordinance granting an access easement substantially in the form attached here to Dominion East Ohio Gas for the purpose of maintaining pipelines and declaring an emergency in order to in order to assist in the public utility in the proper maintenance of its pipeline. The administration has asked for suspension.
Move to suspend.
Second.
We have a move and second to suspend. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Second.
We have a move and second to adopt. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, Ms. Hawks, please call the roll.
Mr. Vaca? Yes. Mr. Kovak?
Yes.
Mr. Cudley?
Yes.
Ms. McDougal?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Ms. Randall?
Yes.
Mr. Hattrick?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes. Ordinance 2015-077 is adopted. Ordinance 2015-078 is from the Committee of the Whole and is on first reading. It's an ordinance accepting the proposal of and authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Mirror Effects Systems LLC for 2 replacement computer network switches and related licensing in the amount of $15,537.54, less an account credit of $8,392.50, for a net cost to the city of $7,145.05, taking the necessary funds from the Capital Improvement Fund number 60 and declaring emergency to replace the equipment as soon as possible. The mayor's asked for suspension.
Move to suspend.
Second.
We have a move and second to suspend. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That
Move to adopt.
motion is carried.
Second.
We have a move and second to adopt. Any comments from the public? Hearing none, Ms. Hawks, please call the roll.
Ms. McDougal?
Yes.
Ms. Randall?
Yes.
Mr. Hattrick?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Mr. Kovak?
Yes.
Mr. Cudley?
Yes.
Mr. Vaca?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-078 is adopted. Ordinance 2015-079 is from the mayor, Horvath, and Cudley, as on first reading. It's an ordinance authorizing all actions necessary to continue a natural gas endorsement program with and authorizing and directing the mayor to extend an agreement with Constellation Energy Gas Choice Incorporated, Constellation, substantially in the form attached hereto, for natural gas supply services related to the continuation of natural gas endorsement program and declaring emergency in order to meet specific program deadlines. This will go on to second reading.
Move to suspend.
We have a move and second to suspend. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And motion carried.
Move for adoption.
We have a move and second to adopt. Any comments from the public? Mr. Mazzaro?
Mr. Horvath, members of the council, my name is George Mazzaro, 186 Eldridge. I want to just let you know what happened last year when this took place. I called another company to find out how low they'd be, and they were lower than your one that you proposed. And if we don't know what the price is, why would we go with them when the others are lower? That's the problem I'm running into. Do we ask the other 3 or 4 companies who are involved in this?
Thank you. All right, we have a move and second to adopt. Ms. Hawks, please call the roll.
Mr. Cudley?
Yes.
Mr. Vaca? Yes. Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Ms. Randall?
Yes.
Mr. Hattrick?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Mr. Kovak?
Yes.
Ms. McDougal?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-079 is adopted. Ordinance 2015-080 is from the Committee of the Whole and is on first reading. It's an ordinance amending Exhibit A to Aurora Code of Ordinances, Chapter 161, Employees Generally, to reflect changes in the compensation for the individuals listed on the attached schedule and/or to place those newly hired individuals listed on the attached schedule on Exhibit A at the compensation specified for them, approving such compensation and declaring emergency. The mayor's asked for suspension.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a move and second to suspend. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried.
Second.
We have a move and second to adopt. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, Ms. Hawks, please call the roll.
Mr. Vaca? Yes. Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Ms. Randall?
Yes.
Mr. Hattrick?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Mr. Kovak?
Yes.
Mr. Cudley?
Yes.
Ms. McDougal?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-080 is adopted. Ordinance 2015-081 is from the Committee of the Whole and is on first reading. It's an ordinance appropriating $500 from the Recreation Fund, number 78, to reflect the $500 grant received from the state of Ohio Step Outside Program. The mayor's asked for
So
suspension.
moved.
Second.
We have a move and second to suspend. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carried.
Move to
Move to
adopt.
adopt.
We have a move and second. We have a move and second to adopt. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, Ms. Hawks, please call the roll.
Mr. Hattrick?
Yes.
Ms. McDougal?
Yes.
Mr. Vaca?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Ms. Randall?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Mr. Kovak?
Yes.
Mr. Cudley?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-081 is adopted. And ordinance 2015-082 is from the Committee of the Whole and is on first reading. It's an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into agreement with Oak Group Incorporated, substantially in the form attached hereto, to provide plan review and building official services to the Division of Planning, Zoning, and Building, taking the necessary funds from the General Fund Number 1 and declare an emergency to ensure continuation of project review for the department. The mayor's asked for suspension.
So moved.
I have a move and second to suspend. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carried.
Move to adopt.
Mr. Nuska, there was a question that came up prior. Can you answer that question, please? Do you remember what it was?
Yes, in reference to Ms. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
She is still listed on employees generally as a backup inspector.
Okay.
We've chosen to go with Oak Group Incorporated for the same reason that we use Charlie Beauchesne. He's in the area and can come into the office on a weekly basis, and it's much easier for appointments.
Okay. And Mr. Brochet, what happened there?
He got another position in Columbus.
Okay.
And is going back to Columbus.
Thank you. All right, are there any comments from the public? Seeing none, Ms. Hawks, please call the roll.
Mr. Attridge?
Yes.
Mr. Vaca?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Ms. Grandilo?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Mr. Kovach?
Yes.
Mr. Cudley?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-082 is adopted. Ordinance 2015-083 is from the Committee of the Whole and is on first reading. It's an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with James G. Zupka, CPS Incorporated, substantially in the form attached hereto, for auditing services for years 2014 and 2015 for a total cost not to exceed $28,350 for the year ending 2014 and $24,480 for the year ending 2015, taking necessary funds from the General Fund Number 1 and declare an emergency as the audit is currently underway.
Move to suspend.
Mayor's asked for suspension.
Second.
We have a move and second to suspend. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carried. We have a move and second to adopt. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, Ms. Hawks, please call the roll.
Ms. McDougal?
Yes.
Mr. Vaca?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Ms. Grandilo?
Yes.
Mr. Hatridge?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Mr. Kovach?
Yes.
Mr. Cudley?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2015-083 is adopted. Brings us to the end of our agenda. Are there any citizens that would like to comment on anything at all? Mr. Mazzaro.
Mr. Horvath, members of the council, my name is George Mazzaro, 186 Eldridge. I brought up at the last two meetings the mixed use of the Jogga Lake area. And one of the problems, again, I found another article in the Chagrin Valley. It tells everything, even Mr. Januska attended the meeting they had over there, but the problem we're running into, the information is not getting out to the citizens of Aurora of what actually is happening. And your discussion at the last meeting did very well, because some people were calling me, it's about time they start talking about it. So the other thing is, has anyone done anything with the raw sewage that is going into the Jogga Lake area? Has anybody stopped that, or aren't we going to do anything with it? Now, injection wells, she's been here 3 times now. Somehow, council has to decide what they're going to do as far as controlling that here in the city of Aurora. And it's happening on a regular basis. If you think for 1 minute the government knows what they're doing, they don't. Okay? Again, I want to bring to your attention, the fire hydrants are rusting very bad, street signs are falling off, and entrance to the city looks lousy. So I hope someone decides to do something with that as soon as possible. Last but not least, we're talking about tennis courts and swimming. Is this part of a plan? Do we have a master plan that we're following? Or are we just turning around and popping up things that we'd like to have on a personal level? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mazzaro, I'll try to get comments about those right now, okay? The first one, if I recall, Mr. True, about Jogga Lake and the sewage going into Jogga Lake. I look to you for that. Do you have an answer?
Mr. Chairman, there's no sewage in Jogga Lake. We've met with the EPA, we've met with the Jogga Lake Association, I've talked to Mr. Vaca, we've met with a former employee of Wildwater Kingdom. They use what is called lake water for their fire suppression in the hydrants. And lake water, as any other water, is disturbed and tilled up in the summer and stuff like that. It has a smell to it. It's a pungent smell. It's just the lake itself. They're taking the nutrients off the bottom, their inlet, and they're sucking it to the top and using it for fire suppression. And they open those hydrants once in a while, and it goes to the storm sewer. That's all it is. There's no raw sewage. It's been tested, in the Geauga Lake area itself, the EPA. We're not aware of any. If there is, we'll be out there right now checking on it with the EPA. And last we've checked with them, and this is over a year ago, year and a half ago, we were out there. There was no raw sewage, but there'll be just smell. It's normal, it's organic, and that was all the smell was. And they're looking at tying in to our water system for their suppression too. So we have had discussion about that.
All right, the second one, do you want to comment on the entrances?
Go ahead, Mayor.
Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President. We do have plans to begin painting the fire hydrants. There is money in the budget for that. I wish that the public would take special note of how lovely the center of town looked for the festivities yesterday. That notwithstanding the threat of frost Friday night, people went out of their way to make the city and the center of town along the parade route look lovely right on the heels, literally, of winter. We are looking at different things to do around the city to spruce it up. We have new banners up. The flower baskets are up, and we do have plans and money in the budget to redo the city signs this year. Slowly but surely, I think we are addressing certain aesthetic aspects of the city of Aurora. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mazzaro, I'm going to ask the water director to comment on your last one. I do have an answer, but I'd rather the water director.
Mr. President, I believe that there was an issue raised with regard to injection wells. I know we had a speaker at our last couple of meetings. I did read the information that was given. I will just tell you that that is an area that has been heavily litigated over the last half dozen years or so. It is an area that is the Ohio Supreme Court, I believe, has indicated that state law and state legislation preempts local governments from regulating in that area. There are areas that we can and will look at, but most of that is preempted and regulated by the state of Ohio. And as a matter of fact, there was a court case that affected the city of Broadview Heights 2 months ago, as well as the Monroe Falls case that would be precedent-setting in those areas.
Thank you. All right, anyone else from the public? Ms. Warren Benjamin.
Thank you, Mr. President. There was one last question, I think, on tennis courts and swimming, and do we have a plan? There are many options and opportunities that the city and this administration have been looking at regarding recreational activity and facilities in the city. And to that end, I recently established an ad hoc recreation committee to specifically consider those options, evaluate the costs, and make some recommendations to the administration. That committee is ongoing. It is chaired by Councilman Wolf, and Councilwoman McDougald is also on that committee. And I, based on the charge that they were given, I think they will hopefully have an open mind in all the things that they're considering, and also bearing in mind the cost implications for the city. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Council, Mr. Hattridge.
Thank you. I have a list of about 5 pages of thank yous. I'm just kidding. Be short. Y'all just got an email from Chief Barnes in reference to the number of businesses that are under safety checks, fire inspections, and so forth. And the number is 395. Those are the ones that have an emergency call list, okay? And sometimes the suppression systems aren't on that call list, but they still have to be tested. If I could have Mr. Kraus's attention, please. Haven't asked you this in a long time, Mr. Kraus. Can you give us an update on what's happening at Spring Hill? Entrances, exits, walking paths,
Mr.
whatever.
Kraus?
You can tell us.
Mr. Kraus?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President, to the councilman. We have relocated the drive. We had put a new drive in last year. That had to be shifted due to a neighboring resident concern. That has been moved, which also then moved the mailbox. We are in the process, we've ordered some additional signage to be placed. Once we receive those, we will then put those up. We have an Eagle Scout project that is looking at a kiosk that will be sometime this summer. And we have submitted the trail plan to the EPA, of which we've gotten back approval for some of the trails, and then other parts of the trail that need to be further investigated.
So it's moving right along then.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kraus. That's all I had.
Thank you. Mr. Cudley?
Thank you, Mr. Horvat. Just to add to what the mayor said about what's going on around town to improve the looks of the city, Landmark did approve new historical markers for the historic districts also, so those will be going up too.
Thank you. Ms. McDougal?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mayor, I was wondering if you could give us any kind of update on the sidewalk plans? Anything new?
Ms. Wormer Benjamin?
Thank you, Mr. President. We continue to obtain whatever easements or approvals or work agreements that we need from adjoining property owners. I think we have enough to actually go ahead and bid the 82 piece. I'm not sure on the timing of the service director for that.
Mr. True?
Mr. Chairman, I hope to have the bid documents, everything else married up by the end of this week, and to be bidding it actually in June and probably start the work in July.
Thank you.
May I
Ready to go.
continue?
Yes.
I would like to thank the mayor for all her work on the food collection. Really appreciate your help on that. Also, every single church in Aurora was a part of that. We had Boy Scouts involved, but Bruce Harris was the man behind this, and I can't tell you how many hours he worked putting this together. But I'm just so impressed with the city, how we came together. Just not only the people that gave food, but how many people gave up that whole day, lifted heavy cans, and just worked very hard that day. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. It makes a tremendous difference.
Mr. Vaca, if you make a comment that says, "Oh, we have time," you're a dead man. Mr. Vaca?
Oh, we have time. Real quick. The brush pickup we just went through was somewhat confusing, I believe. It was the third full week this month instead of the last full week. I think it's because of the holiday. I think what needs to happen, I know it was printed in the brochure because I went back and looked at it. I think we need to do like the village behind us, Reminderville does. When they have brush pickup, they put signs up, brush pickup starts Monday. You need to do that at the beginning of the streets in the neighborhoods, or put up one big one in the beginning of the city, because there's a lot of people that did not know it was going to be that week, even though it was printed in that brochure. I was unaware of it, so needless to say, I held back. I've got another month to wait, but there is some brush sitting out on the streets because they thought it was this last week, and it'll sit there for 3 more weeks. So I think in the future, we need to put up these little information signs like we used to, water, hydrant flushing, or this and that. They used to put them up, and then this way, the week before, well, you better get your brush out or do whatever, otherwise you're gonna miss the boat. Some people don't read the Advocate because it's still sitting in the bottom of the mailbox, so they don't know about it either. So therefore, I think maybe these little signs that say, brush pickup starts Monday, probably would work. Thank you.
Mr. Kovach?
Well, since we have time, I just like to welcome home all the college students that are past grads of Aurora High School, and it's been fun seeing them around town over my house. And have a safe summer and enjoy. And I'd like to thank the mayor and the VFW and the was a great moving ceremony yesterday. Thank you very much.
Okay, there is nothing more to be brought forward.
Second.
We have a move and second to adjourn. Ms. Hawks, please call the roll. Please. Yes. Session, please.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ms. Hawks.
Ms. Randall.
Yes.
Mr. Heck.
Yes.
Mr. Horvath.
Yes.
Mr. Kovak.
Yes.
Mr. Coe.
Yes.